we know that magnetic field can be produced by different methods. By making use of magnets of any shape, always there exists a magnetic field around it. So this is one of the method of obtaining the magnetic field. That means by making use of magnet of any shape and of any size. And the other methods of producing the magnetic field are by passing the current through a straight conductor, either in the upward direction or in the downward direction. If you pass the current, then all around the conductor there will be magnetic field. Then one more method is by passing the current through the coil of copper wires. Coil of any shape, either the circular coil or square shaped coil or even cylindrical coil. Already we studied about the magnetic field produced in case of circular coil of wire and also in case of circular loop of wire, and also we derived the expression for magnetic field produced at a point on the axis of a circular coil and also at the center of the circular coil. Now in addition to this, there are simple devices where we can produce the magnetic field. What are those means? One is known as solenoid and the other one is known as toroid. We discuss about it a little later. Then what is meant by solenoid? A solenoid is nothing but a coil of copper wire wound in the form of helix over a non-magnetic tube. Suppose if I imagine this as a non-magnetic tube, if I wind the copper wire tightly in the form of helix, then this cylindrical shaped copper coil itself is known as solenoid. So here we have copper wire and this is nothing but non-magnetic tube. Okay. So imagine one non-magnetic tube like this, wind the wire tightly over it. Then this cylindrical shaped coil itself is known as solenoid. Helix means what? Look here. It will be of this shape. This is nothing but helix, spring-like structure. So that is how the coil of copper wire appears to be on the non-magnetic tube. So solenoid is nothing but cylindrical coil of copper wire wound tightly in the form of helix over a non-magnetic tube. Now if you pass the current through the solenoid, then magnetic field is produced both inside the solenoid and also outside the solenoid. If you imagine this itself as a solenoid and if you pass the current in any one of the direction, so both inside the solenoid and also outside the solenoid there exists a magnetic field. Now here, according to this diagram, we can see now the current flowing. That means current is coming from the back. So from the back it is coming out like this. So what does this symbol represent? This symbol represents the current flowing through each turn. So this is turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, like this too many turns will be there. Okay. So current flowing through each turn is represented by means of this simple diagram. What does the dot inside the circle represent? The dot inside the circle represent current perpendicular to the plane directed outwards. That means at the top of this turn the current comes out like this. Perpendicular to the plane of the figure it comes out. The same current through the same turn at the bottom it flows inwards. Once again perpendicular to the plane of the figure. So from the top it comes out perpendicular to the plane, then from the bottom it goes in. So this symbol represents current perpendicular to the plane directed inwards. So this is how the current keeps flowing turn by turn, and this current is responsible in producing the magnetic field. Now here as an example I have taken only 3 turns, turn 1, turn 2, turn 3 I have written separately. So this is one turn of wire, another turn of wire, another turn of wire, totally 3 turns I have chosen. So through each turn now the current is flowing in the downward direction according to this diagram, whereas at the top as indicated here the current comes out like this perpendicular to the plane, whereas at the bottom of each turn the current flows inwards like this, inwards, and even through this turn it flows inwards, again inwards, whereas at the top of each turn it comes out like this, perpendicular to the plane. And we know that according to Oersted experiment, whenever current flows through a straight conductor, in the region around the conductor, magnetic field lines will be in the form of concentric circles. So this has been investigated by Oersted himself in his experiment. So that is what I have written here. Suppose if I imagine this as one turn, okay, if I imagine this as one turn, then look here, at the top the current is coming out, the current is coming out. So how will be the magnetic field lines? The magnetic field lines all around this should be in the form of concentric circle, and the direction of magnetic field can be determined by making use of right hand clasp rule. Suppose if I consider this as the conductor, which is, okay, this is the solenoid, okay. Now this is one turn of wire and it comes out like this. Again, second turn, it comes out like this. Third turn, it comes out like this. Okay. So if that is the case, if I imagine this as one turn and the current is flowing outwards, then if I apply right hand clasp rule, then if I hold this conductor like this, then thumb finger, if it represents the direction of current, then the fingers curling represent the direction of magnetic field. Here what is happening? Fingers are curling like this in anti-clockwise direction. So that is what I have written here. You just look into the arrow. Arrow gives the direction, curling direction of the finger. Similarly, if this is one more conductor at the top end of the second turn of the solenoid, again apply the right hand clasp rule. Thumb finger represent the direction of current, then the fingers curling in which direction? Anti-clockwise direction gives the direction of magnetic field. Same thing holds good here. Whereas at the bottom, look here, the current is flowing inwards like this. If current is flowing inwards like this, once again apply right hand clasp rule. How? Look here, I hold the conductor like this with respect to turn 1 at the bottom. So this is nothing but conductor, means wire. It will be like this, it is wound like this. Okay, I am considering the lower portion of the conductor. As I considered here upper portion of the conductor, here I consider lower portion of the conductor of turn 1, turn 2 and as well as turn 3. So with respect to turn 1, now current is flowing inwards. Apply the right hand clasp rule. Hold the conductor like this. Thumb finger pointing inwards means into the board. If that represents the direction of magnetic field, that represents the direction of current, then the fingers curling along which direction? In clockwise direction. Look at the fingers are curling like this in clockwise direction. That represents the direction of magnetic field. Similarly, with respect to the turn 2, this is the bottom of the turn 2 of the solenoid. That means second round. Second round, bottom portion wire, this one. So apply the clasp rule. Look here once again. So if you hold the conductor like this, that means lower portion of turn 2, then thumb finger represents the direction of current, whereas finger clasping or curling gives the direction of magnetic field. So here also fingers are curling in which direction? In clockwise direction. So all around each conductor, the magnetic field lines will be in the form of concentric circles. So this I have shown separately with respect to turn 1, 2 and 3. So this is turn 1. How will be the direction of magnetic field now? The direction of magnetic field will be always along the axis. If this represents the direction of the magnetic field due to turn 1, then due to turn 2, that means due to this turn, how will be the direction of magnetic field? Magnetic field will be like this. Again, due to turn 3, the magnetic field direction will be like this. So what does it represents? Look here, due to all these three turns, the magnetic field direction is one and the same along the axis. Therefore, what happens means, if you consider entire solenoid, the magnetic field due to each of the turn which are along the same direction gets added up. Okay, so this field gets added up with this field. Turn 1 field is B, turn 2 field is B, turn 3 field is B. So all the field gets added up. Therefore, what will be the total magnetic field due to the entire solenoid? The total magnetic field due to the entire solenoid is equal to the vector sum of the magnetic field due to each turn. So, turn 1 field like this, turn 2 field directed like this, even for turn 3 also the field is directed in this direction, so it gets added up. So, net field is equal to vector sum of magnetic fields due to each turn, and it will be along the axis. It will be along the axis of the solenoid. Now, how will be the axis? We can represent one axis like this. So, the dotted line in which I am writing gives the axis. So, if this is the axis, then the direction of magnetic field will be all along the axis. That is what we have written here. Look here. What does this represent? All these lines represent the magnetic field direction. So, since the magnetic field due to each turn gets added up, the field inside the solenoid will be almost uniform and strong. How can I say the field inside the solenoid is strong? Because magnetic lines of force are crowded, they are close to each other. Whenever magnetic lines of force are closely packed, the field is stronger. If the magnetic field lines of force get separated out, if they move away from each other, then at that region the field is always weak. So, this is the region where field is stronger. How can I say that field is uniform? Field is uniform because magnetic lines of force are almost parallel to each other. Look at this magnetic line of force, this magnetic line of force, all these lines are nearly parallel to each other. Therefore, overall it is an uniform field and strong field. So, if you imagine a solenoid like this, inside the solenoid the magnetic field is found to be uniform and strong. Whereas outside the solenoid, outside means what? Both at the top portion and as well as at the bottom portion. Now come back to this figure now. If this is the solenoid, then inside the solenoid here, how will be the field pattern? It is how? This will be the field pattern. So the field pattern inside the solenoid will be like this. Here I have written separate figures. I have not mixed up everything. I have not jumbled everything, so that understanding will become bit easy if we write separate figures. So whatever figure in which I have written here, so this is nothing but the schematic diagram of the magnetic field produced in case of solenoid. So what does this diagram gives? This diagram gives the magnetic field produced due to solenoid. Okay. Then what does this figure represent? The second figure represents the magnetic field produced due to each turn, and what will be the direction of magnetic field both at the top of the solenoid and as well as at the bottom of the solenoid. That means here and as well as here the current directions are changing. If the current direction changes, the field direction also changes. So that is what we are represented in the second figure. Different direction of the field both at the top and as well as at the bottom, though through each turn current flows in the same direction, whereas with respect to top of the solenoid, it is found that the current flows outwards like this, whereas with respect to bottom of the solenoid the current flows inwards like this. So it flows inwards like this, whereas it comes out at the top. So with respect to each turn, we have shown how will be the field pattern, and this is the overall magnetic field pattern produced due to a solenoid, and these lines will be inside the solenoid, and these are once again the magnetic lines of force indicating the magnetic field outside the solenoid. Outside means both at the top and as well as at the bottom. You can notice here the field lines are spreading out both at the top and as well as at the bottom. Look here, the distance between the field lines continuously goes on increasing. So here you observe the distance, this distance, this distance, this distance, it continuously goes on increasing. Since the field lines are spreading out both at the top and as well as at the bottom, it is found that the magnetic field outside the solenoid, say for example at the point Q, whereas inside the solenoid I consider here P is the point. So at this point the field is found to be, magnetic field B is uniform and strong. Okay, whereas at the point Q, field is weak, almost or nearly I can consider field as equal to 0 at the point Q. Then inside the solenoid the field exists all along the axis. You just consider the second figure once again. What will be the magnetic field in a direction perpendicular to the axis? Due to each turn, the field lines are in the form of concentric circle, and due to each turn the field gets added up, and when the field gets added up, totally the field will be like this, which is uniform and strong inside the solenoid. But between any two turns, between turn 1 and turn 2, or between turn 2 and turn 3, that means either between these two turns or between these two turns, if you choose any point, at that point the magnetic field is found to be 0. It cancels out. How does it cancel out? Look here, you just consider this point. With respect to this point and with respect to first turn, what will be the direction of magnetic field? At this point I draw one tangent. So the tangent drawn gives the direction of magnetic field. Then at the same point with respect to the second turn magnetic field line at the same point. Now draw one tangent. What will be the magnetic field direction? If you draw tangent, look here, this is the magnetic field due to the second turn with respect to this point. So totally at this point the magnetic field is found to be in opposite direction, magnitude wise same, because same current is flowing and the diameter of the solenoid is also same. Therefore, between any two turns, if you choose a point P, if you choose any point, then at that point the magnetic field cancel out. Find out the magnetic field similarly at this point. With respect to the second conductor and also third conductor, between them you choose. What will be the magnetic field now? Now, with respect to this point, here I draw one tangent. The tangent drawn gives the direction of magnetic field. Again with respect to this point, here if I draw one tangent, look at the tangent drawn gives the direction of magnetic field. So overall at this point the magnitude of the field are same but the directions are opposite. So that is why between any two turns, either at the top or at the bottom, same thing holds good here also. Look here. With respect to turn 1 and turn 2, at this point if I draw one tangent, so this will be the direction of the magnetic field. Okay, with respect to same point and with respect to second turn at this point, if I draw one tangent, this is the tangent drawn gives the direction of magnetic field. Look at, tangent should be drawn along the curling direction, of the fingers according to right hand clasp rule. The arrow represents the curling direction of the finger, which also gives the direction of magnetic field. But at one particular point, if you want to find the magnetic field, it is convenient to draw the tangent to find the field direction at that particular point. What I have done means, I have done the same thing both at the top and as well as at the bottom. I have shown that between any two turns, the total field is equal to 0. Don't forget. So at this point, B net is equal to 0. Where? At this point. Similarly, at this point, B net is equal to 0. So what does it mean? In case of solenoid, magnetic field always exists along the axis. This is first point in which you have to remember. Then between any two turn, perpendicular to the axis. Look here, if this is the axis, so the field lines are perpendicular. So perpendicular to the axis between any two turns, the magnetic field is 0. Okay. Then thirdly, what you have to understand means, as we move away from the solenoid, both at the top and as well as at the bottom, that means outside the solenoid, as we move away from it, the field goes on decreasing, and at some point the field is found to be very, very weak, and we can consider that field as almost equal to 0. So this is how the field pattern will be due to the solenoid. So field exists only along the axis in a perpendicular direction. Outside it is 0. Then in a perpendicular direction between any two turns, that means here at this point as well as at this point, between this turn and turn, turn 1 and turn 2, we are shown here between turn 1 and turn 2, field is net field here, B net is 0. Again between this turn and this turn, net field is equal to 0. Only along the axis the field exists, because field due to each turn are directed in the same direction, and field due to each turn add up, and that vector sum itself is the total field that exists inside the solenoid. If I consider this as point P, then I can represent the same thing here. P is the point where the field appears to be like this, which is uniform field at this point, and as well as strong field. Okay. So remember the field pattern and how the field exists in case of a solenoid. Now let us derive an expression for the magnetic field at a point inside a solenoid by making use of Ampere's circuital law. Though Ampere's circuital law and Biot and Savart law are identical to each other, but still it is found that Ampere's circuital law is advantageous in finding out the magnetic field, particularly in case of solenoid and as well as toroid, because Ampere's circuital law finds very easy to find the magnetic field because of symmetric situation that arises in case of solenoid and as well as toroid. Now using this Ampere's circuital law, let us derive an expression for the field inside the solenoid but not outside the solenoid. So this is the solenoid. Say for example I choose a point P, okay, somewhere here inside the solenoid at the point P. Then what will be the magnetic field? Find it out. Now this is nothing but cross-sectional view of the solenoid. This dot mark inside the circle represent that the current through each turn at the top coming out perpendicular to the plane, whereas the cross mark inside the circle represent that current through each turn at the bottom is going inwards like this. Look here, at the top of this current comes out like this, again from this turn current comes out like this. Through all the turn the current comes out perpendicular to the plane, whereas at the bottom through all this turn the current flows inwards perpendicular to the plane of the figure. So that is what which is represented here, and we know that the magnetic field will be always along the axis. In case of circular coil, circular loop of wire, and also in case of solenoid, remember magnetic field will be always along the axis. Other than axis, magnetic field cannot exist in any other direction. It runs along the axis depending upon the direction of current. Either it will be towards this side or it will be towards this side. Now here ABCD is an Ampere in loop chosen at the center of the solenoid. That means somewhere here it is like this. I have chosen one rectangular shaped Ampere in loop, okay, of length. This is A, this is B, then so this is C, this is D. What is the length of this loop? The length of this loop is taken as equal to L. So this I have written separately in this diagram. Now Look here, this ampere loop encloses certain number of turns. According to this diagram, how many turns of wire are present within this ampere loop? Within this ampere loop, 1, 2, 3, 3 turns I have taken. Any number of turns may get enclosed within the ampere loop, but strictly according to this diagram, only 3 turns are said to be enclosed. ABCD is an ampere loop of length L, okay, length L, then where it is at the midpoint, that means at the mid region of the solenoid. B is the uniform magnetic field, because we know that inside the solenoid the field is uniform and strong. Then I is the current flowing through each turn of the solenoid, that means through the entire solenoid, what is the current flowing? I. What about IE? I is the current enclosed inside ampere loop. Within this ampere loop, what is the total current that is enclosed? There is a difference between current enclosed and current flowing. Overall, the current flowing through the solenoid is I, whereas through each turn, the current through this entire ampere loop, what total current is enclosed by means of these turns, number of turns, that is nothing but IE. Now let us use Ampere circuital law. According to Ampere circuital law, I write it in a short form. Line integral of magnetic field, that means B dot dl, is equal to mu naught times the total current enclosed within the ampere loop, where mu naught is the absolute permeability. What is dl, vector dl? It is nothing but line element. And what is the length of the line element? The length of the line element is dl. See, if I consider dl as vector dl as line element, then what is its magnitude, or what is the length of the line element? So this is nothing but magnitude of dl. Now what I do is, I find the magnetic field due to all the 4 sides of this rectangular ampere loop, and if I add the magnetic field due to all 4 sides of the ampere loop, that total field is nothing but equal to line integral of magnetic field, and it is found to be equal to this much according to the statement of the law. First, what is the magnetic field? Along the path CD or along the path DC. Let us write this. So this equation can also be written like this. Look here, B dot dl, I consider only left hand side part. This can be expanded and it can be rewritten like this, B into dl into cos theta. So this is integral, and circle represents integral over a closed surface. Integral along with circle, it is an integral over closed surface, and with B dot dl, it is nothing but line integral of magnetic field. So this we have understood in our previous class. Let us find the magnetic field due to the path CD, which is outside the solenoid. So magnetic field due to the path CD. Okay, due to the path CD. Using this equation, I can rewrite this equation as B dot dl is equal to, look here, I write this as, look here, 0 into dl into cos theta. B equal to 0 here, because outside the solenoid, we have shown that outside the solenoid, at some point, if we refer to previous figure, we marked that point as Q. The magnetic field is almost nearly equal to 0. So since this path CD is outside the solenoid, the field outside the solenoid is very, very weak. It is not exactly equal to 0, very, very weak. Therefore, we can approximate that as equal to 0. So that's why in place of B I have substituted. So B equal to 0 outside the solenoid. Okay, outside the solenoid. So therefore 0 multiplied by anything is nothing but equal to 0. That means there is no contribution of magnetic field due to the path CD or DC which is present outside the solenoid. Now, let us find once again the magnetic field due to the path AD and BC. This path DC is parallel to magnetic field, okay? Whereas these two paths are perpendicular to the magnetic field. Look here, suppose if I extend this and also this. What is this angle now? Angle between the line element, if I choose CB itself as line element which is equal to DL, then angle between DL and the magnetic field theta is equal to 90 degree. Okay, 90 degree. Similarly, this angle is also equal to 90 degree. If I choose this as line element of length DL, then DL and magnetic field direction are perpendicular to each other. So therefore, theta is equal to 90 degree. That means magnetic field due to the path AD and BC which are transverse. Transverse means perpendicular. Let us write separately. Magnetic field due to the paths, what are those paths? AD and BC, okay, AD and BC, which are perpendicular to magnetic field B. So this is the direction of magnetic field. Again I write the equation B dot DL equal to B into DL into cos 90 I write, because theta is equal to 90 degree. What is cos 90? 0. So therefore once again this also turns out to be equal to 0. So look here, field due to the path DC outside the solenoid is 0. Similarly, field due to the path AD and BC perpendicular to the field direction are also equal to 0. Then one more path is left. What is that path? AB. Now what will be the magnetic field due to the path AB which is inside the solenoid? Let us find out the field due to this path also. Magnetic field due to the path AB inside the solenoid according to Ampere circuit law, it is nothing but B dot DL which is equal to mu naught times the total current enclosed. We know that field became 0 due to this path and also due to these two paths. Due to this path field became 0 because B equal to 0 outside the solenoid. That's why for B we substitute here 0. So this can be written as B into DL into cos theta. In place of B, 0 is there. Whereas field due to these two paths which are perpendicular to magnetic field is once again 0, because in these two paths what happens means the angle theta becomes equal to 90 degree. Cos 90 means 0. That means field do not exist due to this path and also due to these two paths. Field exists due to this path only. So therefore magnetic field due to the path AB is given by B dot DL equal to mu naught IE according to Ampere circuit law, but theta equal to 0 degree here. How theta equal to 0 degree? If I consider this AB as the line element L or line element of length L, it is found that the line element AB and magnetic field are parallel to each other. How? Let us write one separate figure. AB, I consider the length of AB as vector L. Then what about this? This is nothing but magnetic field B. Magnetic field B, which is along the axis. Magnetic field B is parallel to this path. Therefore, in this case, theta becomes equal to 0 degree. Now, if I substitute that, I can write this in this form also. B into DL into cos theta. That means I expand this using dot product of two vectors equal to mu naught IE. Then what is theta? Theta is equal to 0 degree. So it becomes now B into dl into cos 0 equal to mu naught into IE. Now this can be written as cos 0 is 1. Okay, I take B outside the integral sign. So B integral over a closed surface, integral over a closed surface into dl. What is cos 0? Cos 0 is 1. What is integral of dl? And this should be equal to mu naught IE. Integral of dl is nothing but L, because one basic formula is there in integration. Integral of dx means x. Integral of dy means y. So these are all nothing but formulae in which you study or you might have studied in integration. So this can be written as now B, then integral over a closed surface, integral of dl over a closed surface means it is only L, which is nothing but the path length AB is equal to DC equal to L. This is equal to now mu naught IE. Now what I do means I find the value of IE, and if I substitute then I get the equation. Let us call this as equation 1. Okay. Now for IE, how to find the value? Let us consider like this. Let N be the number of turns per unit length. Number of turns means number of rounds of wire in unit length. In unit length, that means for 1 meter length, suppose if I consider 1 meter length, for 1 meter length how many turns are there? It's a whole solenoid. If I assume from ear to ear, then in 1 meter length totally how many turns are contained? That is nothing but small n. Now if I apply that to this ampere in loop, what is ampere in loop here? ABCD is the ampere in loop. Okay. Then what will be the number of turns enclosed within the ampere in loop? For 1 meter length, if it is n, then for L meter length, what is the number of turn? Number of turns enclosed within ampere in loop A, B, C, D. Let us consider this. Now within the ampere in loop A, B, C, D, the total number of turns enclosed is given by number of turns per unit length, that means 1 meter length multiplied by L. So N into L. So this is the total number of turns contained within the ampere in loop. Whereas in the entire solenoid, how many number of turns will be there? It is represented by capital N. There is a difference between capital N and as well as small n. Capital N refers to total number of turns. Small n represents to number of turns per meter. So that's the difference. So this is the number of turns within the ampere in loop. Now what is the current enclosed within the ampere in loop? The total current flowing through the solenoid is I, but the current enclosed within the ampere in loop is IE. Current enclosed by the area of the ampere in loop. Area of the ampere in loop. How do you find that? It's nothing but IE. Okay. It is nothing but current flowing through each turn. What is the current flowing through this turn? I. What is the current flowing through this turn? Again I. What is the current flowing through this turn? I. So through each turn the current flowing is I. Like that, how many turns are there within the ampere in loop? NL turns are there. Therefore, IE should be equal to current flowing through each turn multiplied by total number of turns within the ampere in loop, that is N into L. Suppose if I substitute now for IE as equal to NL into I in equation 1, what happens to this equation 1 now? equation 1 becomes now, therefore equation 1 becomes, okay, PL equal to mu naught for IE. What I can write for IE? I can write NLI. NLI. Okay. L and L get cancelled. Then B will be equal to mu naught Ni. So this is the expression for the magnetic field at a point inside the solenoid. At a point inside the solenoid. Okay. Remember one key point here. As we move away from the center of the solenoid towards the ends, towards both of the ends of the solenoid, the magnetic field goes on decreasing. So at the center, uniform and strong. Right from the point P, if we keep moving away slowly, gradually the field goes on decreasing. Finally at the end points, that means at the two ends of the solenoid, what will be the magnetic field? Means at the end of the solenoid, the magnetic field is equal to half of the magnetic field produced at the center. Suppose at the point P, if the magnetic field is B equal to, let us say, 10 Tesla, then what will be the magnetic field at the end points? Means, let us write that here, at the ends of the solenoid, the magnetic field is given by B end equal to B by 2. B by 2 means mu naught Ni divided by 2. So, if it is 10 Tesla here at the end points, here and here, that means with respect to this figure, here and as well as here, what will be the field? It is nothing but B by 2. B by 2 means 5 Tesla. Again here it is B by 2, which is nothing but 5 Tesla. So this is how we can determine the magnetic field at a point inside the solenoid and also at the ends of the solenoid. We know that if you consider a circular loop of wire or circular coil of wire, then by passing the current either in the clockwise direction or in the anti-clockwise direction, the magnetic field direction can be determined for both the directions of current. How do we determine? Let's consider, already we studied about this. Let us try to recall once again. If this is nothing but the circular coil or loop of wire, loop means only one round, coil means having several number of turns. Suppose if the current flows in, let us consider this as loop, okay. Suppose if the current flows, in which direction it is flowing? It is flowing in anti-clockwise. Then, how will be the direction of magnetic field? The direction of magnetic field is now determined by making use of which rule? Once again, by making use of here right hand rule in the opposite manner, that means in the reverse way. Look here, if I hold my right hand, if the fingers curling gives the direction of magnetic, if the fingers curling gives the direction of current, then the thumb finger gives the direction of magnetic field. That means for this case, the magnetic field direction must be perpendicular to the plane of the loop and it should be directed outwards according to right hand clasp rule. Right hand rule, curling finger gives the direction of current, thumb finger gives the direction of magnetic field. So I can represent, this is how the direction of magnetic field, which will be outwards perpendicular to the plane. Suppose in the loop, if the current flows in clockwise direction, okay, this is clockwise. Again, we apply the right hand rule itself. Look here. Hold the right hand. Now, if the fingers curling gives the direction of current, then the thumb finger gives the direction of magnetic field. So, in this case, the magnetic field direction is perpendicular to the plane of the loop directed inwards. I represent that like this. So this is how the direction of the magnetic field will be. It goes from front to back. Here it comes from back to front. Back to front is represented like this. Okay. What is now the right hand clasp rule originally as applied to a straight conductor? If you consider a straight conductor, if this is a straight conductor, hold the straight conductor by means of your right hand. In this case, if the thumb finger gives the direction of current, so thumb finger gives the direction of current, then the fingers curling or clasping all around the conductor, fingers are curling or clasping in this direction, that gives the direction of magnetic field. So the fingers are clasping like this. Okay. So at this point, if I want to find the direction of magnetic field, what I do? I simply draw one tangent in the curling direction. So this gives the direction of magnetic field. So fingers clasping or curling gives the direction of magnetic field. But in these two cases, it is applied in the reverse way. Fingers curling gives the direction of current, thumb finger gives the direction of magnetic field. So whenever you apply the right hand clasp rule as applied to a straight conductor, to the circular coil or to the loops, you must reverse this. That means to these two loops, if I apply this law, apply it in a reverse direction, means thumb finger should represent the direction of magnetic field. The magnetic field is moving inwards. Whereas curling finger gives the direction of current. Whereas your curling finger gives B. Whereas your curling finger gives the current. Then thumb finger gives the current in this case. Whereas your thumb finger gives the direction of magnetic field. In the same way, if you consider a solenoid, this is the solenoid. Okay. So these are all nothing but the turns of the solenoid through which the current flows. Look here. So this is the current. The current is flowing like this through each turn, and finally it comes out. Now, if you imagine this itself as a solenoid, then hold the solenoid once again by means of right hand. So in all three cases, we are making use of right hand. In this case, we apply the same right hand rule in a reverse direction. That means reversing these two. For thumb, B will be there. For fingers curling, I will be there for these two cases. In the similar way, I apply this to solenoid also. So this is solenoid. Hold the solenoid now by means of your right hand. Now, if the fingers clasping gives the direction of current, as we explained here, fingers clasping gives the direction of current. Then, if the fingers clasping gives the direction of current, thumb finger gives the direction of magnetic field. So now, the magnetic field should be all along the thumb finger direction. That means it should be all along the axis. So this is the direction of magnetic field. Okay. Suppose if the current reverses, same solenoid, if I pass the current in opposite direction, say for example, if the current is passed like this in the opposite direction. So now the current is flowing through each turn in which direction? Upward direction. Finally it comes out. Again apply the right hand clasp rule itself. Hold the solenoid by means of your right hand. Now the fingers curling or clasping should give the direction of the current. How is the current flowing? Current is flowing upwards. Therefore fingers should clasp in the upward direction. Here the fingers are clasping in downward direction. So it curls like this. Okay. If this is the curling direction which gives the direction of current, then the thumb finger gives the direction of magnetic field. So in this case, the direction of magnetic field will be once again along the axis, but it will be along this direction. It will be towards left side in this case for this current, and it will be right side for this current. And remember, here in both these cases, we know that one phase behaves like south pole and another phase behaves like north pole. Here the near phase of the loop, this is near phase. Back of this we consider as far off phase. Okay, if this face behaves as north pole, its back face behaves like south pole. Whereas in this case, the near face means front face behaves as south pole, whereas back face behaves as north pole. Same thing we can apply here also. Look here, the fingers are clasping in which direction? The fingers are clasping in this direction. So this end now behaves like, now north pole, whereas this end behaves like south pole, whereas here this end behaves like north pole and this end behaves like south pole. Therefore, a current carrying solenoid can be considered as equivalent to a bar magnet with how many poles? 2 poles, north and south. North and south. So current should flow. Then only the solenoid which carries the current can behave like can behave like a bar magnet. So this is what we can understand, and this is how the rules are applied. So for these two cases, I say like this: current is represented by means of clasping finger or curling finger. Then magnetic field is represented by means of thumb finger. Okay, thank you.